Hey guys, welcome back to the Wallace Way of Life, and as promised we wanted to do a video about foster care and how we kind of went through that process and adopted Nariah through the foster care system.
Angela had originally come to me, the best I can remember, and she might tell it differently, but she came to me probably more than once and kept prompting me with foster care, and I was like, no, not doing it, can't do it. And I think most of it was just selfish reasons. I didn't think I could go through the pain of bringing a child into our home and then a few months later, a year later, or 2 years later, having the child taken away from us. And so I think it was something the Lord had to do in my heart to get me to go along with bringing a child into our home with the possibility of turning it back to the mother or father or grandparents or whoever it might be. So
we started the foster parent training classes, and it was about November, December of 2015. It was the same year that we brought Samuel home. We had just returned home with him in August, and I think we just knew pretty abruptly, not long after, that we would do something else, that we weren't done. We felt like China, we couldn't go back that soon because of leaving the kids for 2 weeks and just bringing Samuel home. And so we started the foster parent training classes, and that was 2015, I think, when we started. We were home study approved and on the call list in March of 2016.
I'm going to back you up though. So during those training classes that we had to go through, I remember leading up to that, the whole time we were going into it with foster to adopt.
Yeah.
And while we were there, the people doing the class sort of changed our mind on that, just because you have to be more open, and it's not just about the kids, it's a ministry opportunity for the parents as well.
And really their first DCS is who we went through, the Department of Children's Services in our local county, and DCS, like their first goal is reunification with their birth parents. And as hard as that would have been for us, if you truly want what's best for a child, if they can go back home to their birth parents in a safe and healthy environment, that is the best for any child. And so I think we just had to come to a place where we were accepting of that. And honestly, through the training classes, we decided that we were going to minister to the family. It wasn't just about the children. We were going to minister to the family, and we wanted an opportunity to love on a family and pour into their lives at probably one of the lowest points of their lives. And so we really changed our perspective on that. So we were approved. It was either March or April, and we really didn't get that many calls. We got a couple for respite care, which is where you watch children in foster care already, maybe for a weekend or a week, to give their current foster parents like a little break, or so they could go out of town or whatever. And we couldn't do it the couple times we got called about that, but Nariah came to us on May the 19th, 2016, and we had just booked a vacation a couple hours prior.
Literally just booked a vacation, and Angela called me. I was at work with the customer, and she's like, I think we're getting a baby, and I think it's about to happen really soon.
I just booked our vacation that day, and like a couple hours after is when I got the call from DCS. And I told the lady that called, I said, well, I'm pretty sure, that we will say yes, but I just want to make sure of my husband first, and I'll say yes. And he didn't know what we were doing. And so I called David, and of course he said, okay. She was 1 month and 1 day old that day, and we didn't know anything. I mean, this is our first placement, and so when I called the lady back, I was like, so when do I get her? And like, am I gonna get her today? Like, I didn't know. And she was like, well, we have like one more paper to get filled out, and then you'll come get her. And I was like, oh, okay. We had a pack and play. We had no clothes. We had no bottles. We had no.
And part of that was because we didn't know if we were getting a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a baby. We didn't know. You can't really prepare, or I guess you can, but we weren't prepared.
No.
We didn't.
I mean, now there's excellent organizations in place that actually come in and they bring you clothes and stuff. But
didn't you call your mom?
So I called my mom and I was like, so I'm getting a baby and I'm pretty sure we're going to get her within like the next few minutes. And I need you to come and get my credit card and go to Walmart because I didn't know. And I was calling some friends, and I had some friends bring some stuff over. And I think I even called one friend, and she was like, "Well, do you need bottles?" And I mean, I breastfed my babies. I just didn't. It didn't dawn on me that I would need bottles, and I was like, "Yes, yeah, bottles would be good. We need some bottles." It was just, I mean, Alexa was, what, 5 or 4? Like, we hadn't had an infant in long enough time that we didn't have anything.
She wanted a baby.
I did. Who? Alexa?
No, you.
Oh,
well, and Alexa.
Alexa did too.
Both of you.
But so I called David and I was like, "Are you coming home? Because I'm freaking out." And so it was the most chaotic day, I think, of my life. And we were moving. We were moving a few weeks after that.
And we booked vacation, and we were getting...
Yeah, we were going to go on vacation, and then we were moving, like the very next.
We don't do anything unless it's stressful.
Yeah.
If it's stressful, we enjoy it.
It was crazy.
Apparently, we thrive on stress.
So we went
to the DCS office.
Came home. We went to the DCS
home,
office.
got in the van, loaded the kids up, went to the DCS office, and I remember they brought her out, and she was this tiny, tiny little baby girl, and we all...
Black curly hair,
and we were just like, oh my gosh, this is what we always wanted.
Alexa was like, "Mommy, it's my little sister." And the kids started calling her their sister. We kept trying to say, "Now we don't know, like she could leave us tomorrow. We don't know if we'll get to keep her.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna love on her for as long as she needs us to." But we all fell in love with her, and those first weeks, I can't count how many times I cried.
Oh, I remember crying. I remember that night crying.
Because
I don't cry, but that night I cried just thinking
we could lose her.
I could lose this little girl, or we could lose this little girl, and I'm already attached to her. I mean,
we loved her so much.
I loved her just like Angela had birthed her. It was no different.
They make her sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Yay!
Yay! Clap. Yay! You want to sing happy birthday? Yay!
So that started really it was 3 years and 2 months or something journey through the foster care system with Nariah. And there's things that, we just won't share because we do respect her birth family, and some of them we still keep in touch with. And so there's just stuff that's private to them and we won't share. But I will say this, DCS, I mean, we had like 3 or 4 different workers through the whole thing, and they're meeting you to death. But I mean, that's just part of it. Like I had 2 meetings in my home every month. I had another, like a meeting at the Nariah's caseworker. I had to see her twice every month. So they would come to my house one time, and then another time I would have to, take her down there just to pop her in and let them see her. And It was crazy. They diagnosed her with failure to thrive because she was so little. She had feeding problems and stomach problems and special formula and
Whiny problem.
yeah, she was high maintenance from the very beginning.
She still has whiny problems.
She's still high maintenance. But I mean, it was just, we tried every different bottle there was, and then they told me, because she was in foster care, they were like, you can go and get on WIC, which is the program in Tennessee that gives you like free formula and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. That's just another appointment. Well, then I found out her formula was like $25 for a can this big, and so I thought, okay, we're going to do WIC. So I had WIC appointments. Every time she had a checkup, she had to go to her pediatrician plus the health department. The health department had to see her every single time, no matter how much I was like, why do I have to do this? They didn't.
Dentist appointment. She started the dentist when she was a year old. I had to take her, and I would have to take, every time I took her anywhere to any appointment, no matter what it was for, I'd have to take a paper, and the doctor would have to fill it out, and I'd have to fax it to DCS because they kept record of everything, every diagnosis that she had and every measurement and weight. And then we ended up going to gastroenterologist, and I don't know who all we ended up seeing because she wasn't gaining weight. She was super tiny. She's just little.
Basically falling off the growth chart.
There's nothing wrong with that girl. She's just tiny.
She was tiny but mighty. So she was doing some visitation with Birth Family, and we were able to get in touch with her maternal grandfather, who she did start seeing, and really we built a great relationship, there.
With them, and she loved going to their house, and they loved having her over, and
and they still see her.
And
she did have visitation with her birth mother, and
I think that's something early on that we decided that we wanted to happen, was unite her with some form of family as long as we could. And so Angela had reached out to her grandfather, and
I just called. DCS kept telling me they couldn't get in touch with him, and the Lord just kept putting it on my heart, and we'd had her about a year, and I just called him up one Saturday, and he answered the phone.
Hey!
And I was like, so I have your granddaughter. Like, I had no idea how it would be received, but he was very happy to hear from me, and the very next week he came to see her, and it's just really special that she has that. And I think the reason why it was so important was, we can love her and we can provide the material things that she wants, but we cannot be her birth family. We are not her birth family, and we just feel really strongly that all of our children are going to want to know where they came from. And with Samuel and Liana, we don't have that to offer them. They were abandoned, and we don't know who their birth families are, and it would be like finding a needle in a haystack, really.
I wouldn't even know where to start. If I knew we could, we would try, obviously, but I don't even know.
So for Nariah, we knew that if there was a chance there, that we wanted to give her that, so that when she gets older and she wants to know and she has questions, that there's somebody that can answer those questions, and that she can see her family tree, and she can see where she came from and where she got certain characteristics from, and so it was really, really important to us.
I don't think we didn't want to be a hindrance. We didn't want her to, the older she got, look back at us and be upset because we kept that from her. So. And
we didn't try because we didn't try. We wanted to say we tried, and we reached out, and we were open, and we weren't just trying to steal somebody's baby. And it ended up, after over 3 years, it did work out to where we adopted her and took her to the courthouse, and she was wild as ever, and the judge was about to declare her Nariah Ann Wallace, and she was sitting in my lap holding herself, screaming, "I have to pee!" That's pretty much Nariah.
That's right. She is full of life.
Oh.
Everybody that knows her knows how wild and rambunctious and loving she can be, but she's got attitude.
It's her way or the highway.
She's got attitude, and she's sassy.
Very strong-willed, and
Oh my gosh.
Whatever she does in life, it'll be. I'll say she's going to change
everyone
laws
always says,
and
if we can just direct that,
to something positive.
direct that
That would be
energy.
awesome. Yeah. But children need
Yeah.
families, and especially older children, teenagers. There can never be enough foster parents, and we would encourage anybody to look into it, to step out and possibly open your home, because there's kids that are literally suffering probably in your backyard and you don't even know it, in your neighborhoods, in your kids' schools, in your kids' classrooms, and they just need a safe place to land for X amount of time, however long that is, and they're just, you're needed. The church is needed in the foster care system. We'd love to answer any questions that we possibly can about foster care, adoption, anything like that, because we are huge supporters and believers. But I think first and foremost, we believe in keeping a family together if it's at all possible.
Absolutely.
So,
Thanks you guys for joining our channel.
see ya.
Talk to you later.